At the beginning of spring semester 2018, I received an email about the Biodiversity Project. It described a project where we would learn more about the desert around us, and one that would help us to explain how science and biodiversity affected the youth here in Tucson. It was about making sure that everyone understood and felt that science was relevant to them, and I decided to apply because the message of the program resonated with me. In the past, I've been lucky enough to participate in programs aimed at increasing diversity in STEM fields. Back home in the Pacific Northwest, I was a part of the GEMS program, which stood for Girls in Engineering, Math, and Science at Fred Hutch, and of the BioQuest Academy Biomedical Boot Camp at the Center for Infectious Disease Research. These projects inspired me to pursue a career in science. The Biodiversity Project would allow me to give other kids the same opportunities that I had, while also helping me learn how to engage the public in the scientific areas I hoped to work with. In our first week, we took a crash course on how to teach students about biodiversity, including how to get them involved by creating lessons that were relevant to them. We wanted to engage all our students, not just the kids to whom science usually appeals. My group was assigned to Mansfeld Middle School, where we would be teaching 8th graders all about the Sonoran Desert landscape that surrounds them. With this audience in mind, we began to create our first lesson plans. On our first day teaching at Mansfeld, I was terrified. I had observed my classes, but didn't yet know how the kids would react to me, especially since I was asking them to get engaged on a topic that a few of them said didn't matter to them at all. To my excitement, the first 2 days of class went fantastic. Kids were somewhat apprehensive, but they played along with my introduction games and seemed happy to participate. Unfortunately, scheduling conflicts meant we sometimes went weeks without seeing the classes, and as the semester slowed down, I began to wonder how I could engage them beyond the scope of our teaching. Luckily, over spring break, I was able to chaperone 2 trips to the Arizona-Sonora Desert Museum. I was assigned a group of kids who aren't always the easiest to keep on task, but who always bring great energy and enthusiasm to the class. On these trips, I got to see professionals with a passion for education get these kids laughing, engaged, and excited to see more things which related to the biodiversity of our desert. It was inspiring, and I got to see how far exposure and culturally relevant teaching could really go in terms of getting the attention of these students. Of course, not every day working with the kids was perfect. I learned a lot about how to effectively teach, even when the students weren't forthcoming. I learned the power of being quiet and allowing the kids who did want to get engaged to listen to me. Their peers telling them to be quiet was a lot more effective than me yelling, and in the end, the class always did end up moving on to the next part of the lesson. It was awesome to see that most of these kids really did want to be engaged. I think one of the biggest things I learned during this internship was that outreach isn't about winning over every student. Sometimes not every kid would get on board with a lesson, but that wasn't a failure. As long as the students came in each week and got excited about something relating to the desert, science was becoming more tied to their lives, a little bit at a time. I might not have completely shifted the career paths of all my students, but when I walk into the class, I have students come up to me and say hi, or give me a handshake, or even have some say, "Oh awesome, we're doing this today," when they realize we're going to teach. Even a small change like that is something. And even if it's just a little shift in how they see science, I'm excited to say that I might have played a part in it. Because when I was younger, somebody made that change happen for me. And being able to pass that on is pretty cool.